In the course of history, certain events cast large shadows over the centuries. The Great Fire of London in 1666 is one such event, a devastating inferno that reshaped the city's history, its very soul. In the span of just a few days, a fire raged through the heart of London, consuming homes, businesses, and lives. But from the ashes of destruction, a phoenix emerged, leading London on a path of rebirth and renewal. The story of the Great Fire of London is a tale of chaos, resilience, and transformation. It's a narrative that transcends time, offering lessons about human nature, the indomitable spirit of a city, and the enduring capacity to rebuild. Join me as we journey back to 1666, to a London aflame, to discover how a catastrophe of unimaginable proportions left a profound mark on history and the human spirit. To understand the significance of the Great Fire, we must first set the stage. London in the 17th century was a city of contrasts, a bustling metropolis teetering on the brink of change. Its medieval streets, a labyrinthine web of timber-framed buildings, were interwoven with narrow alleyways and crooked houses. The city was a cacophony of voices, languages, and cultures, a melting pot of humanity. The London of 1666 was a city of both great wealth and grinding poverty. Merchants, nobles, and craftsmen lived alongside beggars and thieves. The skyline was dominated by St. Paul's Cathedral, its iconic dome piercing the heavens. But beneath this grandeur, Londoners grappled with overcrowding, unsanitary conditions, and the constant threat of fire. It was a hot summer's day on September 2nd, 1666, when a spark ignited the tinderbox that was London. The spark, born in a humble bakery on Pudding Lane, grew into an uncontrollable blaze that would consume the city. The bakery belonged to Thomas Fariner, and it was his ovens that unwittingly birthed the disaster. As the flames engulfed the bakery, they leaped from one timber-framed building to the next. The narrow streets acted as wind tunnels, fanning the flames and carrying embers across the city. Within hours, a firestorm had descended upon London, a force of nature that could not be tamed. The rapid spread of the fire took Londoners by surprise. Panic and chaos erupted as people attempted to flee their homes, salvage their belongings, and save their loved ones. The fire's appetite was insatiable, and it showed no mercy. The wooden buildings that had defined London for centuries became its own funeral pyre. The narrow streets became choked with desperate refugees, their cries of despair mixing with the roar of the flames. Firefighters of the day, known as firemen, fought valiantly, but their rudimentary equipment, consisting of leather buckets and hooks, was no match for the inferno. The fire raged on, consuming not only buildings but also the city's psyche. As the flames advanced, Londoners sought refuge wherever they could. Many sought shelter in churches, hoping that divine intervention would spare them from the flames. Others fled to the banks of the River Thames, believing that the water would provide safety. It was a harrowing scene of desperation and despair as families were torn apart, possessions abandoned, and the very fabric of society unraveled. The river became a lifeline as boats and barges ferried survivors to safety. Yet even there, the fire's reach extended as burning debris fell like fiery rain. The city that had once teemed with life was now a smoldering wasteland. Amid the chaos and destruction, there were those who refused to yield to despair. They stood their ground, determined to defend their homes and their city. One such figure was Samuel Pepys, the famous diarist and naval administrator. Pepys chronicled the unfolding disaster with a mixture of fear and fascination, offering a first-hand account of the fire's relentless advance. Another hero of the hour was King Charles II himself, who recognized the gravity of the situation and ordered the creation of fire breaks to halt the fire's progress. These fire breaks involved the deliberate destruction of buildings to create gaps in which the flames could not jump. It was a desperate and costly gambit, but it ultimately proved effective in slowing the fire's advance. As the fire raged on, it became clear that London would never be the same. The toll was staggering. Thousands of homes reduced to ashes, countless businesses and livelihoods lost, and a death toll that would never be accurately counted. But in the midst of this devastation, there was a glimmer of hope. The fire had purged the city of its filth and disease, cleansing it in the crucible of destruction. Londoners began to envision a new city rising from the ashes, a city that would be safer, more orderly, and better prepared to face the challenges of the future. The ruins of the old London would serve as the foundation for the new. With the fire finally extinguished, Londoners turned their attention to rebuilding. The task was monumental, but it was one that the city embraced with determination and resolve. Architects like Christopher Wren were given free rein to reimagine London's skyline, leading to the creation of iconic landmarks such as the new St. Paul's Cathedral, whose dome still stands as a testament to London's resilience. Building regulations were overhauled, and the use of timber in construction was restricted. Wider streets and better sanitation were introduced, transforming the city's layout and reducing the risk of future fires. The Great Fire of London had reshaped the city not just physically but also in terms of its governance and urban planning. The legacy of the Great Fire of London extends far beyond the rebuilt cityscape. It left an indelible mark on London's psyche, a memory of a cataclysm that had forged a stronger, more united community. The disaster had revealed the true mettle of Londoners, their resilience in the face of adversity, and their ability to come together in times of crisis. The fire also had a profound impact on fire prevention and firefighting techniques. The creation of organized fire brigades and the development of improved firefighting equipment were direct responses to the lessons learned from the catastrophe. The world was introduced to the concept of insurance as a means of mitigating financial losses in the event of future disasters. The Great Fire of London in 1666 was a defining moment in the city's history. It was a disaster of unparalleled proportions, one that left a trail of destruction in its wake. But it was also a catalyst for change, a force that propelled London into a new era of growth and prosperity. If you liked this video, like and subscribe for more.